In the words of the great Nature Boy Ric Flair, whoa! We are back once again with another brand new episode of the Untitled Chapter podcast. Of course, as always, I got my boy here, Bertaris Maximus, aka the White Rhino, and yours truly, Eduardo. Here we are again, brother. How you doing today?
Did you just call me retarded Maximus?
No, Bertaris Maximus.
Okay. It's Breticus Maximus. But yeah, retarded Maximus works just as well. If you
No, I said for the people out there, Bertaris Maximus. I want to use that word. No, I don't want to get canceled in 2022. Man.
I use it liberally. Yeah. No pun intended.
Oh, dude. But technically, this is the first episode of 2022. And since I'm talking about that, how was your New Year's, man? How'd you spend it? What'd you do?
I wish I could tell you.
I wish I could.
I was detained by some top level officials, and they basically held a gun to my head and said, say anything.
With me, you want to live.
So, yeah, that was basically my New Year's. Yeah, it's called Rendition. If you have never seen the movie, go ahead and watch it. That's kind of what I went through.
Shit. Well, I'll tell you what, I feel old. Honestly, I didn't do much on New Year's Eve. I think me and my wife, we were going to go to her church for this little event that they were having. But unfortunately, baby girl fell asleep. So we're like, all right, let's just lay down for a little bit. Maybe she takes like a little power nap so she won't be so cranky. It'll be good for everybody.
Nice.
Well, we fell asleep and we woke up like around 11:30, 11:45. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I thought it was like tomorrow. You always get that confused.
Yeah.
When you wake up from a pretty solid little nap, you wake up kind of dazed and confused. Like, what the fuck is it? Is it tomorrow? But it was dark outside. So I'm like, no. And then I look, it's 11:30, 11:35. And then I woke up to the sounds of like the neighbors throwing out fireworks, because of New Year's and all that. And I woke up and that's how we spent New Year's, literally in bed, just kind of chilling, kicking back. And we were watching documentaries. So I guess you get to this point. I mean, when you're a parent, adult, whatever, you're just kind of kicking back and all that. It wasn't too exciting. Nothing crazy.
That sounds eerily similar to the way I wake up after every Coke binge I go on. I wake up and there's always a documentary on. It's 3 days later, and I'm like, where am I?
The fuck
I don't even, am I in a trap house right now?
I don't remember my walls being 4 different colors.
Right. Yeah. I get up out of the room and I go to the kitchen and there's like naked women cooking drugs.
Oh shit. I'm definitely in the wrong house, man.
Yeah. I realize I'm at my neighbor's.
Just three houses down, no big. You just walk over to your casa and you're good.
Yeah,
the notorious White House. That's crazy. Did we tell that story on why they call it the White House?
I think we've told it, but I think we're at the point of shame now. I'm like basically president in name only. I'm like waiting for someone to take the title away from me because you
still have the title though. You're still the HOA president
legally.
Yeah, I honestly forgot about that till we started talking about the house thing and all that. But it's funny because there was another story that. It's like the White House and then something else happened in that house. You're like, damn, this house has history or something like that. I don't know if it was only the fact that because the previous HOA president used to live in that house before, but yeah, I'm like, damn, you're a man of many hats, man.
Anybody who's ever been a president of this HOA has lived in this house.
Damn. So it's definitely the White House.
But I'm not giving it a good. I'm like basically the Jimmy Carter of presidents, of HOA presidents right now. Jimmy Carter is like the worst in history, or James Buchanan. Depends on who you are and what you believe. But yeah, two of the shittiest presidents right there. I'm basically both of them lumped into one as an HOA
just morphed
president.
Into one, right? That's funny.
It's all cool, man. I keep it gully. I still wave.
There we go, baby. That's what it's all about. Do you have any? Did you set any New Year's resolutions for yourself? Going into knowing. I mean, we're in 2022. Did you set any goals for yourself?
I'm really big on not setting goals only because I never accomplish them. And so I've just
Straight up. Okay, respect
it. You know what? I'm old enough. I've failed enough in life that I'm just like, before I hit my midlife crisis and end up getting myself like a bubble-eyed Benz or something crazy, whatever, spending way too much. I'm like, you know what? Let's just not set any goals and not fail not only myself but my family. I'll fail them enough this year as it is. So, so no, I will say this.
Okay.
I do go on a fast every January from January 1st to January 21st. And basically all I'm doing is eating clean, where it's no animal products, no animals, and water is my only beverage. No coffee, no energy drink, no nothing. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, beans, whatever, anything, like basically a Sharia law Antifa vegetarian is the diet I practice from January 1st to January 21st. The goal, the wish is always to say, hey, after I'm like done with it, I'm always like skinnier, I'm always more vibrant, and I wake up easier, and I'm much more healthier. Every time I take a poop, instead of it being all slimy and stinky, it's like just like right out, and it's just like it's the best poop ever. I'm telling you, vegans know. Just ask your vegan friend about their poop. They'll tell you. They'll be like, dude, it's like no, I have no stomach problems whatsoever. My gastro is Astro.
Gastro. That's the title of the episode, baby. They're perfect. Right off the cuff. Perfect.
There it is.
Astro, Gastro. Is it Gastro, Astro? What'd you say?
My gastro is Astro.
Okay, there we go. Perfect.
So
remember that.
But yeah, so if the Tip Touch viewers notice I'm a little bit skinnier, a little bit more alive looking. That's a little bit of Coke and a vegan diet.
I was gonna say 21 days. Has to do with the Coke a little bit too, right? You can't let go of
that.
Well,
the glasses, that's why I'm wearing the glasses. Yeah, that's the only cheat on the thing.
Okay. Hey, like I said, you keep it a thou wow, so it's all good, man. Yeah.
What about you though? What are your resolutions? Oh, sorry.
Dude,
go ahead.
Honestly, every year, it's like, I don't know. This year, I really didn't think of one. Last year was just trying to stay more active, physically, just trying to hit the fucking what we call the hamster wheel, aka the treadmill. But this year, I don't know. I really didn't think of one, honestly. But I mean, every year you always kind of want to, I guess, evolve as a person and just be a better person than you were the last year before. So that should be more. Yeah, some people. I failed too. So I mean, but it is what it is. I'll bounce back. But no, I mean, I really didn't think of one, honestly. It's just more of it's kind of one of those things. I just kind of looked back at just everything that's happened in 2021, and obviously, it's new year. It's definitely trying to push forward and just, live life and just continue, watching my daughter grow up and just, be there for her and just keep on pushing, man. That's really it. However, though, I am excited because this year, I know it's a little bit early in the game, but we're thinking about going to Disneyland here in June. So that's definitely what I'm looking forward to this year. So
Mickey and a mask.
We're gonna take a little road trip. We decided we're probably gonna drive there. We're not gonna fly. So we're gonna drive.
Holy smokes, yeah, dude. Are you taking the CRV?
We don't know yet. We're still indecisive, actually. We're going back and forth on it.
At least get a rental and put as many miles on. Yeah, get a rental, man. That's what I do when I know I'm going on a long road trip.
Yeah,
I'll just get a car for a few days. Just because you're putting the mileage, I mean, you're gonna rod the shit out of it. So they know it, you know it.
Yeah.
And just get the insurance so that when you show up with a few dings and scratches, it's all covered.
Oh, that was there before. I know what you're talking about. Just fucking dented up and everything.
Just I did that. Yeah, that's my blunt in the ashtray. Yours now.
There's Coke residue all over the dashboard. I don't know.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you, but anyway, there's
California. Yeah, no, but we're thinking about driving though, and I think it's more of that thing to where I want to make this more like a family trip type deal, and also because the plan is I do want to go and visit Alcatraz.
No way.
I want to go there just because, and I like to play video games, and one of the maps actually is in Alcatraz, so it's like, damn, it would be dope to actually go visit it and to see how
the maps on what.
The map on Warzone, they actually have an Alcatraz map. So that's kind of what, brought up the idea of going and seeing that. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're planning, and it's still, we're still planning and all that. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to for this year. But other than that, to, watching the Tip Touch podcast grow as well. Definitely, hopefully we evolve this motherfucker even further and higher and just exceed more, on a different level. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, it's a lot of good things to look forward to. But yeah, I mean, hopefully everybody had a fantastic and safe 2021 going into 2022. So yeah, I mean,
well,
no resolutions though for me.
As far as Christmas, I don't know. Did I tell? Yeah, I think I did. I talked about the bidet, but I didn't share about the time I almost killed my daughter.
Oh, the bidet. Yeah, no. Okay, that story too. We'll get to that as well. But the bidet, yeah, I did see on your Instagram that you did install a bidet. So how's that? How was that?
That was the one present I got my wife this year for Christmas.
Okay.
And you know, and she was like, I don't know how to take this present.
He's like looking at it like, okay.
Yeah. But I tell you what, that thing has gotten more usage than any other Christmas gift that we've gotten in other than like iPads, iPhones, and all that. But dude, that bidet, I'm telling you, I've got 2 more toilets in this house, and I think they are gonna get bidets as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
So thing, you stand by it.
What?
You stand by it.
100%.
Okay.
At Walmart for $25, homie.
Damn.
Dude.
Deals on wheels.
And it was like totally unintended. I just looked over there. I'm like, you know what? When we went to the Philippines, my mother-in-law, my wife's mom, had a bidet on one of her toilets, right? And I'm telling you, I would go to the bathroom just to take a shit, just so I could
just to enjoy the bidet,
just so that when I wiped, I would see it clean. You know, I'd be like, dude, this is
no
clean.
streaks, no fucking marks, nothing, just as clean, just a clean streak.
And I'm telling you, dude, laundry is a lot less embarrassing now because I don't do my laundry. You know, so I don't have to explain anything. Man, I
feel sorry for you.
No explanations.
Oh,
all taken care of.
Oh shit. Okay. You know, to be honest, I don't think I've ever tried one, to be real. I know I've seen them like a lot, like, you know, fucking random videos, like they talk about like the bidets, like I think it's in Japan. They have all the fancy ones or something like that.
Oh yeah.
But I've never actually tried one myself. I've been curious. So dude, I'm about to hit up your house and fucking try the motherfucker out too.
Super hygienic. I mean, I'm telling you, dude, it's like I felt European, and Europeans are like, other than they let their armpit hairs grow, the women, but I just seem like it just feels like Europeans are much more hygienic than Americans. I think Americans are just kind of greasy, you know. I mean, you know, that's from a world traveler. So,
right.
You know, it is what it is.
So it straight connects to your existing, I would say, water line, and you just connect. It's like a straight connect, right?
Literally. So like your water line comes out from the wall, and then, you know, and then it goes straight up to the tank. All the bidet is a water line that goes in between those connections. No, nothing, just, you know, make sure you put the plumber's tape on there, make sure there's no leaks, and you're done. Like, we're talking 30 minutes tops. I mean, and that's just if you're an idiot, you know. I mean, you know, if you're
perfect for me.
Yeah for someone like me and you, and half hour tops.
Okay, so, shit. Now you got me curious, man. I'm gonna have to fucking.
It's amazing.
Myself. I don't know.
I've been letting my neighbors try it. You know, so like we'll get random people just coming into the house,
dogging to go to the bathroom
unlocked. Like, you know, a couple homeless people. It's all good, dude. As long as you got a clean bum, it's all good.
Hey, man, it's all good in the hood, right? Damn. So is it cold? It's cold water, I'm assuming, though, right?
Yeah, I mean it's the same temperature that comes out of the tank, whatever
Fair
temperature.
Enough. So if you want to get fancy with it, that's probably what the other ones do, right? Like the fancy ones get you warm water or like medium temperature water or whatever, room temperature, what they call it, right?
It's not room temperature. It's cold. I mean, it's coming out of the wall. But the thing that's cool about it is you can do the settings like on how hard you want the water to hit. You know? So,
shit.
and then you gotta adjust a little bit, right? You're going either forward or backward or whatever, because you want to hit boom, bullseye, right?
That right in starfish.
And then you can and you can play games with it, right? You got that knob, the pressure knob, and so you can just like start slow and then gradually work your way up, you know, to where it's more intense.
Let it rip.
Yeah, just like we're getting clean and everything. Or dude, you can just go and then turn that knob and then just hit the hole right with a straight dose of hard water line. And you're just like, whoa. Fuck. And dude, I am no joke. I love my daughter, but I noticed that she uses this thing too.
Oh, really?
And I know she uses it because I'll come out, you know,
man.
and I'll go into the bathroom and I notice there's just water everywhere. You know?
Just everywhere on the floor. Like, what the hell?
No, not on the floor, on like all over the toilet seat, you know?
Oh, okay.
And I just
say all over the floor. Like, damn. It's like a freaking little geyser.
Yeah, but she loves it. All of us love it. Yeah, we're just
that's awesome. That's awesome. No, that's cool. That's a cool experience. I mean, it's one of those things where, like you said, like I mean, for me, I've never experienced, but like to actually do it myself, I think it would be fucking mind blown. So I definitely will talk about that on the podcast when that happens. So definitely tune in.
Yeah,
but let's hear the story. So, okay. So you were talking about how you quote almost killed your daughter, or that's what you said, right?
Like, no,
let's hear it.
I'm not even exaggerating. And I can't even, I was so embarrassed. Like after I could think about everything, right? After everything. But basically, so, you know, we're going out sledding. We're going to a park. And at this park, there's this, you know, this hill that in my opinion, didn't seem that steep, right?
Yeah.
It just seemed like, you know, like if I'm a kid and I'm going like, that's kind of a small hill, but maybe for a 4-year-old, it is a little bit steep.
Okay.
So we had her on the sled, had our little 4-year-old on the sled, and there's a creek at the bottom of the hill. But I mean, dude, there's no sled trails that go to the creek, right? I mean, there's nothing. Yeah. So I'm not thinking anything. And I'm just thinking, dude, so our very first sled run, I throw my daughter on the sled and I let her go. And then all of a sudden she's getting speed. I mean, she's going fast. I'm like, oh God, you know, I've done enough math in my life, not meth, but math, to know that when you're going a certain speed at a certain, you know, at a certain angle, you're going right for the creek. I instantly start freaking out. So I'm running down the hill as fast as a fat guy can run. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm just like, and she goes into the creek. The sled goes in, but stops right at the creek. And I'm like, I'm still running. I tell her, I said, stay in the sled, don't move, just stay right there.
Yeah.
And she goes, it's wet. And I said, yeah, it's okay, just don't move. And so I grabbed her and I put her onto the ground, got her out, and she was okay. And I'm like, and I look up and like all these parents and all these kids are looking at me,
just like,
and I'm just like, I'm so embarrassed that at this point I'm just like, yeah. and I take her to the other side where she can't go into the creek.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I can't even believe I'm sharing the story, because it's just like, I pride myself on being a good dad, but I failed. So I take her to the other hill that's steeper, but no creek.
No creek. Yeah. No creek at the end. Okay.
I set her on it and I let her rip. Right. Well, again, she's going really fast. And I'm like, oh my God, she's going to fall off, you know? And she did. She fell off and scrapes her face, you know, not bad, but enough. And I'm like, oh my God. So then I look up at that crowd and they're looking at me and I'm like, thumbs up. Like, I got her, you know? So I run over to her again. I'm like, all right, I got to readjust being a dad here. This is really bad. So I take her and she's crying. Now, this time she's crying. She fell, she scraped, she's, you know, cold from still being wet. No, just kidding. She actually didn't get wet in the pond, in the creek. She actually dried. That's why we stayed. So this time I actually got on the sled with her, and I'm like, oh, this is what dads are supposed to do. They're actually supposed to go on the sled with their 4-year-olds.
That's how it works, huh?
That's how it works. So yeah, if you're a father of a 4-year-old, of a kid, go on the sled with them. Just, you know, don't. I just like, but it was like I was going home that night, or you know, after we were done sledding, and I was just like, I couldn't believe it. How could you do that? Why? Who? You know, and I was thinking, what if she did go in the creek, you know, and then I had to jump in. I mean, you know, I'm sure she would have been okay. Yeah. But then what if I would have got stuck in the creek and now I have to wait for the fire department to get me out? You know, there's just all these things.
The scenarios, like, right?
I could have ruined her childhood. I gave her a just core
traumatized
memory, worst memory of sledding ever. And like, sledding was one of my favorite things that I did.
Fuck yeah, man. Definitely. No, yeah, it was.
What if I would have destroyed her memory, or, you know, destroyed her experience to where it just created, instead of having the best memory ever, it was a traumatizing experience. And she had PTSD every time it snowed. Every time she saw a creek.
Fucking just runs up to her room, doesn't even want to go outside.
Dad.
Oh, damn. Dad. Well, thankfully, nothing like that happened. I mean, you know, her ended up, you know, getting in the creek, or you either. But I actually have a similar story like yours, which is crazy. What you were talking about. So when this is when we were living in Eastern Washington, and this is when my sister, I believe, was around the same. She was like 5 or 6 years old. And dude, we were ripping off this huge little hill. I mean, dude, and over there right now, actually, what's crazy over there on the eastern parts of Washington, actually Leavenworth, they're saying they're in a state of emergency because they got like, I think it was like 32 inches of snow over like an 8 hour span or something like that. But dude, there's a lot of snow over there right now. Yes. So you can just imagine how much snow we get over there.
Yeah.
But I remember this year it was snowing a lot, and it was me, my dad, and my little sister. We went out to go sledding. Awesome. We had a fucking blast. We would always do that. And this time we're like, because I would kind of slide down with her, and I would, like, she would go in the front, I was in the back, and we would slide down, you know, and all that. So it was time, like, okay, let's see if she can do it by herself, you know. And we're feeling more like, my dad was feeling confident, and I was feeling confident enough, like, you know, she could do it by herself. Well, yeah. I should have been smart about it and be like, oh, I'm gonna go down there, wait for her, you know, just to make sure that, you know, everything's cool. But we were at top of the hill, and we just gave her like a little push, and dude, she got so much speed going down. And it was kind of like a little hill. So it literally started from the top, then it looped down, and it went up like this. She caught so much speed, Brett.
Oh boy.
That thing went up in the air. She flew off of it. And dude, on the other side, there's a pile of snow, and she just sunk in there. And dude, me and my dad ran as fast as, dude, my dad ran so fucking fast, and I was like behind my dad, and she just like kind of was like laying there, like just like shocked at what happened.
Yeah, like what? Am I in heaven?
No, dude, I felt so bad. Like, I think at that point in time, that was the most scared I've ever. Like, I was fucking like just watching her sled go up, and then her, like, dude, she levitated off that fucking thing and went up in the air.
And you had on video.
Low key, I did. Yeah. I mean, low key, I wish I did, but it was just like, holy shit.
Yeah, right.
Dude, like, glad she was okay. You know, obviously she wasn't traumatized by it or anything, but dude, we were so scared. But luckily, the fucking snow was that deep that it caught her fall. So
we went from having the worst dad on the podcast to having the two worst dads on the podcast.
Well, the worst brother, a big brother at that time. So worst dad and big brother. So I mean, hopefully I cut the chain and fucking don't do that to my own daughter.
That's
man.
Amazing. No. Well, yeah. Your dad though. Your dad, at least, you know. So your dad and I have something in common. We're fighting for the title.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. Those are crazy sledding stories, man. But yeah, definitely. It's crazy though. Like, didn't they say something about that? Was it La Nina that supposedly we're gonna have colder winters and hotter summers? I don't know if you heard about that, but is that, have you read about that?
Well, I know that the ocean has those currents that, you know, it could be a La Nina year or La Nino and whatever. But no, I haven't really kept track of that type of thing. I've just been watching for like all the flood warnings. They're saying that
that's right,
in our area we're at risk of flood. So I'm just like waiting, and I've been driving around my little area, and I've been noticing the fields are just getting saturated, like literally fields that's supposed to like have crops in them. Yeah, I saw ducks just
floating around
like floating around like it was a pond. And I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna get crazy.
Yeah, dude, you wake up one day and there's just water, like a little freaking just downstairs, just flooded, dude.
Oh yeah, dude, I already aired up the raft, the raft, and I'm like, dude, if I gotta go to work in a raft, I'm ready.
Fuck it, I'm going, dude.
I'll do it.
That's crazy. Yeah, dude. Hopefully it doesn't happen. That would definitely suck. I mean, I'm sure your insurance would cover that, right? Like water damage.
I don't know. We'll find out. We'll decide. It's either they cover it or I file bankruptcy.
Oh shit! One of the two, right? Two options gonna happen. Something's fucking gotta happen.
Either way, I'm covered.
Yeah, I did. Well, again, hopefully that doesn't happen. But anywho, let's move into this what the fuck segment, where we obviously talk about the randomest topics, just interesting shit that happens during the week or just during throughout the freaking days, whatever. And we discuss it here on the Tip Picture podcast for you lovely viewers and listeners to kind of, you know, talk about, I guess, and just to kind of
marinate, chew on it.
Yeah, marinate, chew on it.
Talk about it at your dinner tables.
Exactly. Bring these up. Ask mom and dad. So the first of them, the first one that we want to talk about is this new parasite that they found. And I think you probably might have seen it. Joe Rogan, a podcast legend, definitely brought it up on it. I think he posted it on his Instagram and kind of talked about how there's just so many things that we wouldn't even know in regards to just finding like these different animals, parasites, fish and all that. And he posted this fish of what it looks like another little like a bug in substitute of its tongue, and we're gonna talk about that and what that is. So this goes like this, right? Cymothoa exigua is an isopod and a fish parasite. This crustacean is a marine louse, if you will. The females can grow to about an inch in length and males about half that. It is the only known organism to replace an entire organ of its host species. In this case, the poor fish's tongue. It primarily targets the snapper, but it has been seen in 7 other fish species. These organisms are known as a protandric hermaphrodites, which means they can start their lives as males and actually switch sexes later in their life cycle. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The parasites start their quest by swimming inside of the fish's gills. Once there, they will secure themselves to the gills until their maturation process is complete. Eventually, once the young tongue lice have developed, one changes its sex from male to female. After this process it is complete, the louse will detach itself from the gills and slowly climb to the base of the tongue, which she thinks it's a fantastic place to call it home. Using her incredible strong hind legs, the louse then secures herself to the fish's mouth, settling there permanently. In order to establish a permanent residency, the louse pierces the fish's tongue with her powerful bite after she makes an incision, and she starts to suck her fill of blood. This insatiable appetite. Insatiable, dude. I'm stupid again. People, I apologize if I butcher these fucking words, but we're pros here, right? Appetite eventually leads to the depletion of all the blood in the fish's tongue. As a result, the fish's tongue withers away and it falls off.
Damn, dude.
Isn't that fucking nuts, dude? So think about it. So pretty much I saw a video of this thing on how kind of like the cycle of how it happens. They do swim into the fish's gills, and then they bite onto the base of the tongue, and the tongue literally just like falls off. And also they were saying that the male and female mate while the female is attached to the tongue.
Damn, dude.
Not fucking crazy. So it's like business before pleasure or pleasure before business.
Did they happen to make this in a lab in Wuhan?
I don't know. Conspiracy time, maybe. Maybe they're targeting fish, you know?
There's something crazy going on because, like, I mean, the cows get mad cow disease. There's some virus going on with deers where it
like rots, right? Like they're piece of their meat.
I don't know. If you shoot them and they have this certain virus, whatever virus is going around, you can't eat the meat because it's spoiled, it's bad. And yeah, dude, it's just like it's everything. It's everything. I think that Mother Nature is getting ready to just like hold the earth.
They're slowly moving to
current
humans,
life forms, and it's like, you know, Control Alt Delete. let's
snapper fish. Have you ever had snapper fish before?
Yeah, I'm sure I have. It's like red, right? The red.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. It looked like kind of like a grayish color in that video that I was watching. I don't know if they're red. Maybe they do. They are red.
I think it's
the meat. I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not sure. Yeah. But that it's wild. And in the image of it, you know, they opened up this fish's mouth, a snapper fish, and like, dude, it's like a fucking, like, it has little blue eyes, little fucking whiskers, and it has like legs on its side, and it's like literally its tongue. And it eats the mucus and the mucus of the fish and something else, one of those two. But it sucks as it's sucking the blood from the tongue. It doesn't necessarily kill the fish because it's technically the host for it to live on. So it just acts as the tongue, and that's how it lives.
Wow.
That's fucking crazy.
How did evolution create that kind of a beast?
I don't know, right? I mean, that's one of those things where, like, what else have we not found? What else is still out there that's just crazy? But I am going to talk about something that's pretty fucking wild that it'll blow the socks off your feet. And
I hope so.
We'll move on to that one here next.
Moccasins, so blow my moccasins off.
Okay, here we go. Title for this bad boy. New Robot Stingray is part biological. It's powered by the living heart cells. Researchers at Harvard University have created a biohybrid stingray. No larger than the average coin, the ray contains both biological and artificial parts. Rat heart cells grown on a silicone mold fitted over a 3D printed gold skeleton, and it can move. Using a technique called optogenetics, the heart cells are genetically modified to contract when they're hit with a beam of light. The heart cells are taken from 2-day-old rat embryos and grown inside a pattern on a stingray-shaped mold to mimic the muscles of a living ray. The biohybrid ray's muscles move in one direction, and the gold skeleton counters them like a spring. Various light sources are used to move the ray around different obstacles at speeds up to 9 meters per hour. How does the biohybrid ray compare to similar robots? In some ways, it's more advanced than earlier biomimetic UAV-style jellyfish or flying robotic jellyfish because of the biological components. But to be fair, the robotic ray isn't quite an underwater species yet. It requires nutrient fluids kept at around the temperature of a rat's body to keep those muscle cells alive. So it isn't leaving the lab to do practical work in the field anytime soon. Still, it's pretty amazing. It's a pretty amazing invention with interesting implications for robots that aren't entirely mechanical. By integrating advances in genetic engineering, cell culture, biomimetics, and optogenetics, the ray offers a fascinating glimpse of how new technologies can converge. We're getting to the point where there really is a fusion between biology and engineering, says Frank Fish, a biomechanist at Westchester University in Pennsylvania. Why start with biohybrid rays? Kevin Kit Parker, an applied physicist at Harvard University and the maker of the biohybrid ray, has dedicated his life to building an artificial heart. While working on the project using heart muscle cells, he visited an aquarium and was fascinated by the jellyfish. He realized the pumping motion a jellyfish makes was reminiscent of a beating heart and wondered if he could make an artificial jellyfish with heart cells. He made a simple silicone mold shaped like a jellyfish, embedded heart cells in it, and controlled it with an electrical current. He got further inspiration from a second trip to the aquarium, watching a stingray's fluid and movements after his daughter touched one. Then remembering how he used to guide her on the walks with a laser pointer, she'd jump on the beam when it hit on the sidewalk. He had an idea for light as a novel control mechanism. 4 years on, combining progress from a jellyfish experiment, stingray anatomy, and light to control movement, we now have this biohybrid ray. In the end, Parker is still in an artificial heart, and Parker is still after an artificial heart, and these experiments are steps in that direction.
Where does it end?
Where does it end? Woo! Dude, artificial hearts, being able to control these mechanical stingrays. Dude, I'm telling you, these things are going to make it to fucking warfare. Like, we're going to use these in the war somehow. I'm telling you, they're going to figure out. I mean, that's like, I'm for it. Where like, we don't have to put actual people's lives at risk for that. That's a lot of power though, dude. I mean, you think about that, what we can do if we're doing this type of shit, artificial hearts, stingrays that can be controlled. They're half like mechanical and like actual real like organisms, like from the embryo of the rat. Where does it end?
Funny that the Call of Duty in you comes out and you immediately go to war.
That's all I play, so that's probably why it comes to mind. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
Oh, could you imagine what we could do with this on the battlefield?
I want to see this in video games. That's why.
Oh, could you imagine like the next war that we do fight? It has all these like whatever that heart stingray is, that bioengineered whatever, but it's like real people. It's like me and you with controllers, and we're
just fucking China, navigating ourselves, just to the ocean and shit, and then attack their submarines.
Oh man, I mean, how big can I respawn? I just got hit.
It's fun, dude. It's crazy, but it's good too to think that if they're making this also for like people that need like they need heart transplants, it's good for that. I mean, I'm definitely for that. But it's wild to think that, they're using part of the jellyfish to do that. And if they're successful with it, I mean, I'm wanting to see where the progress with that goes, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's the thing, this whole coronavirus thing has just really like made me hate scientists. And, I mean, so it's just like, but I know there's good scientists out there. Mm-hmm. So, I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. It's just the problem is when the big money comes in, and they steal your, it's just like Tesla, he had all these ideas and he was working with Edison, and Edison took Tesla's ideas and patented them himself. So then Tesla left Tesla broke. I think that's going to happen with these new scientists. They have this, it's just like the Manhattan Project where all these scientists worked on this thing, and then all of a sudden, and they're thinking, oh, sweet, we have all this energy and it's going to help mankind, on all these levels, and we just leveled Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and Einstein and all these scientists are like, what the fuck, and I think that we're seeing the same thing here. Like we have these really good scientists, looking at mankind in the best lens possible, and then you get really nasty American government to get in there. That's why, like, with all this talk about the Civil War and about America like collapsing, I think America should collapse because we need a hard reset. People behind the scenes, and the CIA and the FBI, they're like some of the most corrupt agencies ever. There's good CIA and good FBI, I'm sure.
Good apples, bad apples. Yeah.
But at the top, that's where like your Hitler-like people, that same evil exist. They exist at the top, and they just ruin it for everybody, and so that's the only fear about all these science revelations that I have. That's the consternation that comes with those breakthroughs.
Listen, man, I just think that, like, you're right. I mean, there's going to be your good batch of apples alongside with your bad batch of apples. And, they're going to try to, anything like this where it can definitely change just, our way of living to where, like I said, if it's for the good of mankind, I'm all for it. If it's a positive type progress, dude, I'm all for it. But like you said, money can manipulate a lot of people's minds, and it could go fucking for the wrong reasons. And here we are, they're gonna fucking just use it for the opposite thing instead of helping out people, and they could use it for whatever. But either way, it's interesting, man. I think it's crazy to think that they're really moving this direction to where, I know we've already read about how they're trying to make just they're trying to make like artificial organs in general, but this one where they're trying to really make a heart from jellyfish, or just studies from that and apply it to making this heart. I mean, like I said, with all this, man, I just want to keep on tabs on this to really kind of see where the progress is, and if we're really gonna, do a first human trial to see if it's successful. Hopefully it is, and just move on with it. It's very interesting, and it's just, but at the same time, it's almost like I said, it's the younger me. Like, I always think about the younger me thinking about this shit. It's like, dude, who would have thought we're already at this time? Like, we're living it, and it's happening right before our own eyes, dude. And it's crazy to see that. Like, it's along with the metaverse and all that shit.
Yeah.
Wild.
The fact that, we like, you have people like me and you, right, on our level, and I'm like struggling to work with a stick shift manual transmission, and then we've got these scientists with breakthrough hearts who are like, I just created a heart today. I'm like, am I really that retarded? I must be. I think I am.
Oh fuck. No, speaking of that, dude, the same way that I feel. So I sometimes I just go on the rabbit hole of watching just random YouTube videos, before I'm going to bed, or if I can't sleep. And I stumbled across this video of some people up in India. They're fixing like motors and cars using the most MacGyver tools, and they're getting the fucking work done. And I'm like, holy shit. And I'm over here like breaking bolts with a fucking wrench, like
using like the proper tools.
The proper tools. And I'm like, I feel stupid. Like, it really, like, my fucking, what would you want to say? Like, my what's that one word I'm looking for? Like, you just don't, you feel like you lose that momentum or that drive. You're like, I just don't even fuck with my car anymore. I'm good. Like, I'm just gonna let it be and just fucking take it to a mechanic.
That's the difference between an Indian education and an American education. And I'm not even lying to you when I say this. Our education in my family, it's paramount, right? I just love I love education. And I look at our education system in America, and I am repulsed by it. Where like they have to teach kids about wokeism and, all this crazy shit that's not going to get them anywhere in the world. And I'm like, they don't need to know this stuff. This is like, like, are the people that founded this country, like, if you look at Benjamin Franklin and all those early people, these people were going to college at age 15, 16, like they were already, and then by the time they were 30, they'd already been president. They'd already been, like elected officials doing like world changing things. And I look at what education is today, and it's shit in America. So we have family in the Philippines that they do this international school. And I've been talking to my wife about getting my daughter into that. Like, can't we get her into an international study to where we sort of bypass the American studies? Because her family, like our daughter's cousins, they are the same age, and they are already doing like basic math and already writing words, reading books at such an early age. And I'm going, it's possible. Why aren't we doing it? Aren't we supposed to be? So I think that there's something like there's so much gridlock in Washington. And we've given Washington too much power over our education, that it's anything we give Washington goes to shit. And so that's where I just think that parents, a lot of, like, we are faced with this, like, we look at how these kids are turning out. They're going to college and they're, all they are is they're just starting riots. They're, everybody wants to be an activist, but nobody really wants to change the world in a way that is scientific. Like all these scientific breakthroughs that are happening, all these scientists, they're coming from other countries, not America. All America is doing, we're just professional protesters is all we are. And it's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. So I don't want my kids to have any part of that. And yeah, I'm looking at international education outside of American. I do not want my child to attend public school in America. So
interesting. It's, and just using just kind of, from personal experience, when I look back at just, going to school and kind of like the later days, high school and all that. Right. I do remember the one class that did really kind of put my, like, thinking about outside of high school, if you decide to go to college or just go out in the real world and just start working or whatever, there was this one class actually, surprisingly. And I tell folks sometimes this, and they're like, damn, you had that type of class, or you had that class in high school? I'm like, yeah. There was this one class where they were teaching you about how to, like, apply for an apartment when you want to look for a place to live, your credit score, setting up like a checking and savings, like real stuff that's going to apply to you when you walk out those doors, graduation day. And I'm like, why? Like, I look back at that, like, why are they teaching you this shit like at an early age? Like, at least when you're like a freshman in high school, and then kind of slowly start kind of like teaching you, like, about investing maybe, or all this other shit. They don't, like, I think the couple things that for me that are that held on with me that I was gonna be able to apply, like, fresh out of high school, were reading, writing, math. I think that's it. Reading, writing, and math. That's literally all that you're pretty much really going to utilize once you get out. Right. And then from there, like, what else, like, all those years, what else are you going to apply to the real world? Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, and that goes in line with, like, fuck, I wish we do really try to do better for, the kids and the future generations that are going to be the future, you know what I'm saying? To kind of, like, get them prepped and ready, you know what I'm saying? So that's one reason, like, I'm with you, man.
Why we, like, I make a deal with, our little girl, she's still little, but the older one, I work with her and I say, hey, how about we make a deal? How about instead of getting you presents, gifts or whatever, why don't we just, like, travel instead and have these real world experiences. Yeah. And so we have a trip planned to DC, and we're doing that together. And I'd love to take her, out abroad, but she's a little bit she's not ready for that. She ain't ready, because her biggest fear, like, I say, hey, let's go overseas, and she's like, I don't know about the food. And I'm like, okay. So she's worried, but our little girl, man, she's a professional traveler already. And both of them have Bitcoin. I'm teaching them both that. And I mean, our little girl, she's 4, so, but the older one, I tell her all the time, like, hey, we've got your Bitcoin, we've got this. And because I really do think it's the future, even though it's in the tank right now. But and we'll talk about that. I have something to talk about after we cover these. But it's really about personal responsibility when it comes to your kids. And I think that, if you rely on this system that we have, this system is so flawed. I mean, I even just finally saw who's the I think she's the mayor of Chicago. She finally said, our kids need to be in school. Our kids are behind. They're falling behind. But it's like, even in school, the schools suck so bad. But still, I thought I still applauded the fact that she was trying to bring the kids back in school. But the union, she was fighting the school union. The union was like, no, we just want to do online teaching. Like, okay, the same device that they're playing Minecraft and they're playing Fortnite and they're playing all this is the same instrument you want them to learn on? Like, you got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. but the union's like, no, coronavirus. Well, kids aren't even getting, they're not being impacted by this coronavirus at all. Let's get over that. We're done with that. So anyway, again, personal responsibility to your kids' education, and it's hard. Some people can't do it, right? We got some people working, we got some people, but for those that can, for those that really care, and for those that don't have those whatever luxuries, or what do you call it, whatever those abilities to be able to do that, those parents need to rally. We all need to rally in our local communities, and if our schools are not cutting the mustard, they have to. Our tax money is being wasted right now, and if you don't believe me, go to YouTube, just like you just said about the Indian kids and the inventions they're making versus American kids, and they're not inventing anything other than TikTok videos. All I say.
Bars. Oh, dude. There was this one video I saw a kid restoring these like fogged up fog lights. He was like taking them off apart and like grinding them and just like using wet sandpaper to fucking restore the shininess. I was fucking like, dude.
Isn't that amazing? I saw it. So in our crypto world, it's all Win Lambo, right? And Win is spelled W-E-N, right? We're just retarded. So anyway, but then they share the videos, and they show the Indian kids in their Lambo, but it's a cardboard cutout. But I'm telling you, dude, it's a cardboard cutout with chain, like bicycle. So they're bicycling their Lambo, their cardboard Lambo, through their little dusty neighborhood. Yeah. And I'm just thinking, how ingenious, how amazing, how brilliant of these little kids. And you're saying that it's too hard to educate our kids. Dude, come on, man. You ain't never gonna get a Lambo.
Show, man. It's one thing to show. That's one thing to show. Yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, that was kind of my take on just like, fuck. Like I said, you got the right proper tools over here, but I'm doing the opposite. I'm not doing the work. I'm just fucking up the work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Over there, they're fucking doing and everything, like jiving. I'm like, dude, fucking sick.
I have the money, I have the time, but I'd rather just protest. Right. I don't like the president. I'm just gonna go protest.
Oh shit. Insane. But this crypto thing though, what were we gonna say? Let's move on to that. Let's definitely change the pace and move on to that.
Okay, so there was an article that came out, and I think it was out of Bloomberg. And so right now, if you're in crypto, and I think you are, and I definitely am, and we're losing our ass right now.
Yeah, no bueno.
And when I say lose your ass, I mean if you got in the game in this year. And so basically Bloomberg wrote an article, and it's titled "Crypto Diehards Are About to Find Out If It Was Really a Bubble." And just talking about how much Bitcoin is losing. And, we went from a $2 trillion market cap in the crypto space and down to, I don't know where we're at right now, but we're down. But Bitcoin earlier this year hit 69, a high of 69,000. And for those that in the non-crypto world, the numbers 69 and 420 are huge huge numbers in our world. So when we saw a high of 69, and then for a while it was a low of 42,000, which 420, we were like, wow, that's amazing. Only in 2021 could that happen, right? But now we're in 2022, and basically what's happening is the Fed is saying, hey, we're talking about raising interest rates to stop the liquidity of free money in the market. And so anytime that happens, the riskier investments are the first ones to go, right? They're the first ones to drop. And so that's essentially what the crypto space is seeing right now is there's a lot of people saying, holy smokes, they're going to raise interest rates, which means less money for us to spend, less money in the market. And so we're seeing some drops. So they're talking about how basically how there's two sides of the story. This says they say hold on. This says to cryptocurrency true believers, Bitcoin is the ultimate store of value, the most solid hedge against the rampant inflation manufactured by reckless central banks. their money printing and their money printing. That's the camp that I fall in. To skeptics, the crypto world as a whole is a mirage whose massive run-up past $2 trillion was simply the speculative byproduct of the extraordinary amount of easy cash that's been sloshing around in the global economy. In effect, a big bubble. And so they're talking about, when this thing, they're speculating that there's this chance that that they're calling Bitcoin a bubble. The thing is they've called Bitcoin a bubble a number of times, and we have seen Bitcoin. If you've seen Bitcoin in the past few years, like 2017 had a massive drop, but then what ends up happening is it blows up again, right? So the reason why, I just want to remind people, the reason why Bitcoin was created was that it came from the result of the 2008-2009 financial collapse, where the housing market collapsed. And that was because the government kept putting out all these crazy, like, you could go in with no credit and get as many homes as you wanted. And then they had balloon interest, where you're paying no interest this month, but then all of a sudden 3 months later, now you're paying 3 times. So now you're paying $6,000 for a $2,000 home to pay the interest to make up for it. It was just crazy. I mean, some of the most stupidest policies, fiscal policies we've ever seen, and it inevitably blew up the market. And so crypto, so that's when Satoshi Nakamoto said, you know what, let's create something to combat the Fed, and let's create our own thing where everything's transparent and it's real. There's nothing, you can't print more Bitcoin, you can't do anything, you have to figure it out. If there's a crisis, you don't print your way out of a crisis. That was the goal. So that was, all the way. So in 2013, it kind of started, and it just grew from there. But now, like the article said, it hit, $2 trillion was in there. My thing is, though, is there really, there's a lot of people pretending like this bubble's going to break. Yeah. Could we fall? Yes, I'm saying. But as a diehard, as the article says, what I'm saying, I'm looking at the history, and I'm also looking at it on a more macro level, where people that, like, it's not just an American thing, right? The Fed is an American thing. The Fed is pumping artificial money in the American economy, and now we're paying back all these irresponsibilities through inflation. The inflation tax, which is our gas, our groceries, everything's costs more. We all have less to spend at the end of the month because of reckless fiscal policies. So I'm saying, yes, could this thing, I think that we are going to flush out a lot of people, and I think that our investments could drop. The key to get out of this, though, if you're a diehard crypto, it will come back. This is, people all over the world are doing this. We have nations, Ecuador, and there's another country right now looking at making Bitcoin a currency. They're flirting with it as well. But Ecuador has made, or no, El Salvador, I'm sorry. El Salvador has made Bitcoin the currency there. And other countries are looking at the same. It's the only currency that we have in this world that is fair for all. And I don't think that whatever America and whatever the Fed is going to try to do to take Bitcoin out of the game, you're never going to get rid of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is here to stay. We have way too many people all over the world involved in this. So could we see a drop? Yes. But I'm saying, don't be afraid. Hold on to your stuff. If you do have money that you can't lose, right? You can pull out of it, and if it drops more, I would go out. But the strategy out of this is called DCA, dollar cost average. It's where when you see it dropping, keep investing, keep putting money in. And whenever you have extra money, not money you can't lose. If you're gonna lose your rent or lose, you can't pay your mortgage, you can't buy the groceries, don't put that money in.
Yeah,
put the money in that was going to your macchiato, that was paying for your Starbucks, that was paying for your extra McDonald's. Yeah, your Coke. You know, and I'm not talking McDonald's Coke.
No, we're not talking.
No. So
Oh God.
DCAN and keep those investments alive. And
sure.
Because I'm telling you, the Fed, the Fed's days are numbered. Our debt is overwhelming. There's no way out of this, and I think that Bitcoin is literally the only way that we're going to get out of this. And for those that really believe it, that really see it for what it is, I think you're going to be the winners, as we've seen winners every time. So every time the crypto drops, if you're DCAing while the market's low, while the crypto's low, boom, when we rock it again, and we will rock it again, you are going to be a happy camper. And so while inflation took a toll, guess what? The benefit of inflation is, oh, okay, so you bought a house for, let's just say, $500,000, right? Well, after inflation has taken hold, that $500,000 is the equivalent of what $300,000 was just a few years ago. Same exact value. It's just that inflation has distorted the value of it so much. So guess what? Now you're making more, you have more, so your debt becomes that much less. And that's exactly what the U.S. government is doing, is they're using this inflation to pay their debts, to be able to say, oh, those debts are smaller now because we have more money. And that's what they're doing. They're just abusing it. And that's what all the great kingdoms have done before. Rome did it. Greece did it. Venezuela. Well, I don't know if Venezuela. Yeah, they did it. And then there's a country, Zimbabwe, did it. They thought that they could just print their way out of it. And it's a joke now, because you can literally buy a $10 zillion Zimbabwean bill. And they were so stupid that they just thought they could print their way out of it. And it just, you could go to Zimbabwe and see money in the streets, and it's worth nothing.
True. That's fucking insane.
Yep. And the only thing keeping America afloat, the US, is we always used to use the gold standard. We used to have the petro dollar. Now it's literally as good as our word. And guess what? The world is waking up to say, you know what? We don't trust you guys anymore. We don't like it when your printer goes burr,
Yeah.
So they're sort of, that's why countries are waking up and looking at crypto, looking at their own digital currencies, but especially Bitcoin. They're looking at Bitcoin. They're saying, you know what, maybe there is something to this thing, and maybe it is a little bit more honest than the Fed.
Yeah.
So that's what I say. Just DCAN. Don't be scared. I know it's hard. I know it's scary to see your portfolio. I'm telling you, I'm well down. I'm well down over 10,000. I've lost over 15 maybe already. I've taken some hits, but I'm not even one bit scared. I know that we're taking some hits. It could go lower, but I'm just going to continue playing my game. So I just I guess legally it's not financial advice, but
I was saying, for the record, we're not financial advisors or experts.
Yeah, do what you want to do with your money. I don't care. Spend it on drugs, hookers, do what you want, whatever makes you happy. But if you really want out of this mess, I would not trust the US dollar.
Yeah. Bars. Where does bond, man?
Which is the case for the picture behind me.
The picture. Okay. So that's the story for that. There we go.
So
okay.
Al Capone, this was Al Capone's kitchen. So when when the Great Depression hit 1929, in 1930, he was like, he saw all these people just poor, and he saw what the government did, and he's just like, what the hell is up with the government, right? That's why they hit him with that tax evasion charge, and that's what caused his downfall. But he was the people's man. Other than the St. Valentine's Day massacre, that was an anomaly. But other than that, he was a good dude. He was a Chicagoan. He was diehard Chicagoan, loved his people, loved his community. And when the government destroyed the economy in 1929, in 1930, he saw all these people, and he's like, you know what? I am going to have a kitchen that's open, free food for anybody who's hungry. And that's the line you see behind me. So Al Capone, he was a real one.
The real one. Yeah. Hey, man, I can knock it. He was helping the people out.
He did a lot more for those people than the government ever did. I'll tell you that.
Ooh,
yeah, and the government fucked him.
Definitely. But with that being said, man, I mean, dude, yeah, that's awesome. That's That's a good way to put it, right? Like when you're saying if the government, when they say they're gonna help the people, it's not always the case.
Yeah. Why am I looking at international education for my child? Why are we relying on gangsters to feed our homeless?
Yeah.
You know,
Crazy, right?
The heroes always rise when the government fails us, right? I mean, let's not even look at what the Native Americans have had to go through with when the government destroyed broke every promise, every treaty that they signed with them. I'm telling you, man,
the
U.S. government is the most
facts.
divisive thing we've had. It's the reason why we have black versus white versus people of color versus, all this. It's the U.S. government. It's the U.S. government. They are pitting us against each other, and it's absolute bullshit.
Yeah. Have you, before we wrap this one up, have you seen that movie, Don't Look Up?
Love it, dude. That was the
okay. Let's talk about that
movie.
Yes. So I went in with the open mind because I didn't really too much about like the background story. I'm kind of like what it really entails. The homie Brad actually just told me, "Hey man, you need to watch it. Just it's a good fucking movie."
Yeah, it is.
But you'll see, if you understand it, like kind of what the message is kind of behind of it, you'll understand kind of how like it adapts to just society, kind of where it's at right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, dude. And throughout the movie, man, it was like so like a lot of the stuff. I was like, yo, this is fucking dead on mirroring kind of the shit that's going on right now.
Absolutely.
And it is fucking wild, dude.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. It was good. Leonardo DiCaprio killed the fucking part of the scientist. And
absolutely.
It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it too. I just wanted to see if you've seen it too, since you've been on Netflix and you're watching documentaries and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you liked it, huh?
I loved it. I
Okay.
mean, it was just the fact that, here these scientists are. They're like, listen, this is the real shit. We're really seeing this asteroid that's going to hit Earth. And then they go to the population, they go to the president, right? And again, just like what I'm saying, that they stifle everything. And so that they were treating it like it was a joke, like, oh no, well, I'm more worried about my election. And if I can spin this in a way that helps my election, then I'll focus on it. But and then so like they weren't working, but then they hit him up with all these laws, like, oh, you can't talk about this meeting, and so then you go out and you're like, well, this is too serious. This is way beyond any laws about, but it's like you have all these crazy laws. We have law books that are thicker than the snow in eastern Washington, and we don't even follow them. For one, we just pick and choose which it's like the average Christian today. Like they have this big Bible that they have to read, right? But then they just pick and choose which verses they want to follow,
which to abide by
now,
right?
And this makes me a Christian, right? It's the U.S. government with the Constitution. They just pick and choose which laws they want to follow, and they'll be like, yes, I'm America.
Yeah, man. The one part that really kind of tripped me out was like the whole algorithm reference where he's like, I know you more than you know yourself.
Yes,
I know you're gonna die
that
a lonely
scary
death. I was like, whoa.
I know the precise day that you're gonna die.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love that he was wrong about Leonardo though.
Yeah, right?
I was really scared about that.
He was around like the people
that he was. Spoiler.
Okay. I won't spoil it for people. Again, I don't like spoiling movies, but it's kind of hard not to talk about it because of just trying to really kind of like know that it kind of played out the opposite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But a good movie for those who haven't seen it. Definitely go check it out. Go in there with an open mind. It just sends like a good message in regards to just like the shit that really, I would say, is still kind of going on today, but definitely last year. But definitely a good film. Leo killed it. And yeah, it was a good movie overall.
Yep.
But yeah, man, glad you liked it. That's dope. That's dope. But other than that, bro, I mean, anything else on the table that you want to chop it up about before we close the sucker up and call it good for until the next time? Or I mean, just let it know, man. This is the ship. Like I said, I'm just a sailor.
I think we just Babe Ruth this and we hit all the bases.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, home runs all day, every day here, baby. And nothing but that. Home runs. All right. But with that being said, okay, we're going to close this one out. Definitely go check out all our previous episodes. If you haven't, if you're a new listener, viewer, go catch up from the first episode up until this one, which is going to be, I think, episode 87. But we have all our content on YouTube. No, it's also up on audio form. in like on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn FM Radio, all that good stuff. But if you want to make it easy and stay in touch with your boys here, you can definitely follow us on Instagram at the Tadukchi Podcast, and it'll make it easier for you that way because it'll have a link in our bio that you can click on, and it'll take you everywhere we're available. So it'll make it easy peasy lemon squeezy. But until then, we love you. Have a safe one. Have an awesome weekend. We'll catch you in the next one. Till then, and as always, we love you. Peace.
Peace.